Hello, everybody. Welcome to our second live video of today. And so, just to build on before we go into this segment, I just wanted to bring up another additional point when it comes to finding your $1 million idea, and that is wanting to create some form of passive income. So, forming a passive income stream. And so, you just want to make sure that one day, thinking ahead that you'll be able to step away from your business and everything will just be automated, whether that's having additional workers or having, franchises, across the country. Or if you're service based, having a way to automate your sales process so that you're making money while you sleep. You're, giving people your package knowledge and just helping them with the tools that they need in order to grow their business. And so what that looks like when you have passive income is that you're actually able to go to conventions and stuff and get paid, while you're like, hallelujah, all that stuff. You can just, be on the beach or be somewhere with your family and you're getting paid. That is the dream that I believe that a lot of us should be working for. So like if you want to come, to your business one day and be like, I actually want to work today, or, you need to audit, that'll be your title as a CEO. So we have to start thinking of ourselves as CEOs and not employees working in our business. And so, I'm pretty sure throughout the course of being in this Facebook group, you can learn different resources and different strategies for making that happen. And so just stay tuned for that. But today we do have Brother Ryan here today, who is going to be sharing his experiences with starting his business and being here. So, we're coming live to you.
From TEEC school.
Yes. Since this looks like a news broadcast, but all right.
It does to me.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure and an honor to be brought onto the TEEC group of entrepreneurs.
Wonderful. So could you just start us off by telling us a little bit about your business and, how did you come to this idea, like, I'm going to do this to start my business?
Yeah. So I'm smiling because I'm always happy and honored to tell the story. So for those of you who don't know, I do own my own photography business. I started this business back in 2016. And it was around the time we had just moved on to our new international headquarters campus, and we were doing work on the campus, and we moved into this old Catholic building, and the Catholic building was very pretty, very, very pretty inside and out. And while we were, doing our work and getting rid of old stuff that the Catholics had left, I seen a lot of pretty things in the building. And I just decided, like, this stuff is going to be thrown away because we're not going to use it. So how can I capture it to, kind of keep looking back on it as memories? And so I just took my phone out and started taking pictures with it. And then I started traveling wherever our pastor went. I tried to go and travel with him. And I was always a fan of scenery. I'm a big fan of nature. I'm a very big fan of just the outdoors in general. And I wanted to see how I could capture the outdoors from my perspective and my point of view. And so I just started taking pictures and I fell in love with it. And I wanted to be able to share my craft with the world. Now, the hard part was coming up with a way to be different from every other photographer out there and to be on a completely different level. A lot of people refer to certain things in life as the status quo or the norm. And I wanted to be able to break that norm and break that status quo. And so I spent a few months trying to figure out how I could make my business different than everybody else. And so I just decided to stick with the specialty. The specialty for my business is landscape photos, self-portraits, and family photos. That's where I have most experience and so I decided to take that and build upon that. And I took photography all 4 years of high school. I take pictures for certain church events we have, certain conventions, certain new events, new places we might go to. I just always kept my camera with me. And so when bringing my camera with me, I always, would stick by Mo, because she always had pointers. She was the one who decided to, I'm just going to take pictures, charge. I was like, no, I'm not really going to do that. I'm going to like sit back. I wasn't so easy just to get up and ready to take photos, because Pastor has a very specific eye for what he wants in the programs that we use. So I decided to just hang around people like Mo, Brother Rick, Sister Bailey, Brother Trent, people who have more experience than I did at the time, and people who have been doing it for quite a while. Devin Trent, he's one of the best photographers I've ever met in my life, has his own business. Brother Rick and Sister Bailey, been the church photographers for years. They do impeccable work. And so I decided to stick around them and, just sit under their wing for a little bit. And I then, broke out of my shell around 2018 and just decided, hey, I'm just going to get up and start snapping photos. I told Brother Rick I wanted to join the team. And, that was just my thing. Every convention, I just focused on taking photos, and a lot of things that I had to focus on were it's not so much where the action shots were, but it was where the dead spots were not, if that makes sense. And what I mean by that is a lot of people focus on where action is when it comes to taking pictures. I focus on where there's no action and I turn it into action, and I work with that. A lot of times that's my thought process is just completely different. I have a lot of learning disabilities, and I don't say disabilities. I usually say differences, because I feel like the word disabilities disables a person, and we need to enable people. And so I took how my mind operates and I applied that to what I do in the church. Whether it come with planning ideas for conventions or offsite activities, or even, like I said, the main topic of today, starting a business and taking photos. For me, that's what I did. And so a lot of my pictures that I brought to the team and to the table were dead spots. People were places where people would stay away from because they felt like they couldn't get a photo out of it. I took it and got a photo. So that's just a little bit about how I got started and a little bit of how I operate. I like to take where there's no life and give it life, if that makes sense, because I feel like everybody can take a spot where there's a whole lot of action and make it living. But I see the room as a scale. If something's imbalanced, I like to bring the other part up to make it balanced. And that's how you can get a great shot from the rest of the room. So that's a little bit about how I got started.
Yeah, you said like two interesting things that definitely stuck out to me was like, bringing a unique perspective to the team, because that is what, a lot of jobs ask for, a lot of businesses, they ask for that, like, what are you going to actually bring to us that, will make you valuable? That's really what they're saying, like on their job application and stuff like that. So I think that's really cool because, I don't always like to go into action shots myself. So like that really stuck out to me. Okay, so my next question for you would be like, were there any hindrances that you came into contact with when you were first getting started? Any fears?
Yes, there were a lot of hindrances, but none of them came from my creativity aspect, my skill set, nothing of that nature. All of my fears came from the fact that there are millions of photographers outside in the world, millions of photographers in church, out of church, in the U.S., out of the U.S., all of that stuff. So everybody's creating a photography business, So my thing was, what's unique about my business, or what can I do to make my business unique and different from everybody else? Basically setting myself apart from the rest of the population of photographers. So I really had to sit back and resonate, like, how can I make a business that not only accomplishes my mission, but inspires other people to look at the world through a different lens and to change people's perspective? Because that's my motto, is creating a timeless look coupled with an effortless moment. that's what stays in the front of my brain, because I feel as though photography is not just an art, and it's not just something people get up and do. Photography to me is a lifestyle. It's a craft. It's a lifestyle that I want to perfect. It's a craft that I want to perfect. And I have a very specific eye for what I like in my business and what I don't. For what I would do, for what I don't. And with that, it's hard because there's a lot of things you have to turn down, a lot of business opportunities you have to turn down. For me, some business opportunities that are thrown my way are Christmas cards, Easter cards, Halloween stuff, family Easter photos, family Christmas photos, anything related to things that go against our religious stand and our religious belief. That can sometimes be a setback for a person, because they're so eager to get their business started. Their business is finally taken up, and then bam, they get thrown this, and then you have to take 3-4 steps behind before you can keep moving forward. And so that's something that definitely held me back, and that's something that definitely hindered me from even starting this business, because I knew for a fact that a lot of time, majority of my customers would come from that. Would come from people who want to celebrate those holidays and who need those Christmas cards out and who need those Easter cards out and all that stuff. And so I just had to remember, God will provide, and sometimes, it's hard for us as people in holiness to, know that, if we just lean on God, he'll bring our business flourishment and fruition and all of that. And so, I just had to take a leap of faith. And, I knew for myself that I had a beautiful craft and a beautiful lifestyle. And I knew that for myself, what I was doing made me happy. And that's another thing. A lot of times people just start businesses for the sake of saying they started a business and for the sake of saying they own a business. But they don't put any effort into that business that they've created. And so they wonder why they're not getting any customers. They wonder why they're not getting any consumers, any clients, any potential people. Is because you created a business just to be able to say you created a business. But do you really care about what you created? And I see that in a lot of my friends. They create a business, they make 3 Instagram posts, they put a few stories out there, but then that's it. Where's your website? Where's your business cards? Where's your constant daily posts? Where's your post about regular tips in that field? See, a lot of times what people have to remember is it's not about what you post, it's how you do it. Mm-hmm. It's how you grab that consumer's attention. Because I could post 300 tips, a whole grocery list of stuff that you can do to become a better photographer. But if I don't present it in the right way, I'm not going to have the consumer's attention. And so these are just certain things that were running through my mind when I created the business, which is why I came to Monique here. She specializes in social media advertising. She calls herself a social media influencer. Okay, I think that's
strategist.
One of the strategists, right? We changed. But strategist, influencer, coach, whatever. She does it all, and she turns your business into something different. You might say, I have this business, and I have absolutely no idea what to do with it. As far as promotion, take it to her, and your views will go from here, and they'll go up there. She'll set you up, but it's up to you to be able to maintain that. And that's the other thing is you have to have time in your schedule. If you have no time in your schedule, don't start a business. And I mean that with all love, all honesty, all sincerity. Don't start one. Because if you create a business and you don't have the time to maintain the business that you're creating, it's not going to flourish. It just won't. Because when it comes to creating a business, you have to be able to put your best foot forward. And so those are just some things that run through my mind.
Okay, yeah, there, and that's another thing I wanted to add on too. Like, there's a difference between moving the mic.
I'm so sorry.
There's a difference between like putting effort into your business and putting work into your business, because you could be, doing everything like what people say is in terms of like, oh, make sure I'm posting all the time, and posting every 3 hours or posting every 4 hours, but like, are your posts actually like, driving people to click the link in your bio? Or is the post driving people to get a quick win, like something like they can actually take and actually apply it to their business that day? So we have to start thinking about ways like being consistent. Like, it's wonderful too, to have a website and everything, like Ryan said, like that's very important. But you also want to pair that with like being consistent in your brand. And I'm not just talking about branding colors, like I'm talking about like the customer experience that you deliver to people. How do they feel after they've done business with you? Like, what are the perks of working with you versus working with somebody else? So just thinking about that and being consistent on what you deliver, saying what you do deliver, and making sure you're actually deliver on that. And sometimes, in some cases, it's good to over deliver. My friend, one time I told her, something wasn't up on the website, and I wasn't upset or anything. I was just letting her know. And she was like, thank you. I'm going to put it up, tonight or whatever. And then she sent me something extra in the mail. So it's just like, being conscious of, wanting to treat your clients and customers like, family, like friends, but having those boundaries in place. So when I say like, treat them like friends, like treat them like how you would treat your friends or how you would treat your family. Be like, I love you. I got love for you. Here's something, special that was on my heart. I made this with you in mind, but also making sure that you have boundaries in place. Like, hey, you can't contact me outside of business hours. I will, respond to your email during business hours next week. So like if you're closed on the weekend, you're closed on the weekend. You shouldn't be answering like an email or something like that. That's all part of branding, because how you brand yourself is you're telling people how to treat you. So if you're always giving a discount, out every week, or you're always somebody can come to you and be like, oh, I think it needs to be cheaper or something like that, and you listen to that and you do that, you're allowing like your clients and customers to control you, and then that takes away from your brand. So just making sure that you're consistent in all areas, making sure you're treated fairly, and making sure that other people, your clients and customers, are treated fairly.
Yeah,
Ryan, I didn't
you
know if
brought
you
a
wanted to add
very
anything.
good. Hmm?
I said I didn't know if you wanted to add anything, but I was done.
Yes, you brought a very good point up. You said something that really stuck out with me. That's the boundaries aspect. Boundaries are very important when it comes to starting a business. And this is I'm going to let you in on the way I see it. I have friends, right? But I also have clients. And sometimes those clients are my friends. So, me personally, I operate my business on my own terms. I don't stick to the normal 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, off on the weekends. No. I stick to whatever days are my off days from my legitimate job that I go out to. Those are the days that I work for my actual business. And if I have shoots that I schedule, then I take off from my legitimate job out there in the real world, because the job out in the real world is not my end goal. So I say that to say this. If you have friends that contact you, right, because you open a business. So let's say you have, okay, I'm a tie fanatic. Necktie, bow tie, wooden bow tie, anything. I am a tie fanatic, okay? I have a whole collection. If I have a friend of mine who starts a tie business, one thing that irritates me is when your friends and family and all the people you know expect things to be free for them. Do not fall into the trap of letting things be free just because they're friends and family. Okay? Because you still have to keep your business going. You still have to get up there in the world. Your business hasn't fully taken off. Now, I can understand if it's your parents, and they're the ones who invested money for you to start your business. That's a different story. But it becomes a problem when friends are always expecting things to be free or discounted. If they go out into the real world, 90% of the time, if they can't find something free or discounted, they're going to pay that base price. And if that base price is $100, they're going to pay that $100. So you have to know where your boundaries are. Don't think that just because somebody is your friend, you can give them that they rightfully deserve something free or rightfully deserve something that's 60, 50, 70% off. That's one thing that has always bothered me since I've always started my business, is that people always expect things to be free just because they're close to you. And that's very important. What Mo said is boundaries. You don't want to just let people run over you, because the moment they run over you, they are going to, the moment you give them one thing free or one thing discounted, they're going to want everything free and everything discounted. And then the moment you don't give that to them, you've lost them as a client, which shows to me they weren't really a client in the first place. Because if I'm a client, okay, for instance, there is a sister in the church who runs a business called Peculiar Eats. They make some of the best cookies in the world. My favorite cookie is the oatmeal raisin cookie. I'm not going to disclose the sister's name out of respect of her privacy. But for those of you who do know who I'm talking about, that's what I'm talking about. The moment they released their business, I wanted to try it. Not just because they're black, but because I love oatmeal raisin cookies and that's what they make, so I'm going to spend my money on that. When they told me how much it was to purchase a dozen, I was shocked at how much it was. I was like, you don't want it to be more than that? Like, this is a high quality product, and it's something I love. So if it's something I love, I don't mind paying a certain price. Because if I can go out and Acme and Giant and Food Lion and Wegmans and Sprouts and Whole Foods and all those and Aldi's and all those stores out there and pay their price, I should be able to pay someone else's price that I know. So, they told me how much it was. And I was like, that's it? It's not going to be more than that? And they were like, no. So what I do, and I'm not going to disclose what I do, but what I do is I like to give a little extra love to them in a certain way that helps their business flourish. And I'm not going to disclose what that is out of privacy and respect for their business. But it's just my own way of giving back into the community, into the world of entrepreneurs. Because if you're able to go out into the consumer world and pay all that money, then somebody you've known in church for years, you should be able to support them without looking for something in return. You should be able to support them without looking for something free. You should be able to support them without them asking you, can we name something after you? You should be able to support them without looking for a discount. You should be able to support them without saying or supporting them just to say, I supported them. That's like some of the most important things when it comes to the business realm and to the entrepreneur world. If you're just supporting someone's business just to say you supported them, then you never really supported them to begin with. Because all you're looking for is the fame and the fortune of saying, hey, when this business gets super, super out there and well known in the world, you want to be able to look back and say, I supported them way back when, before they even became famous. And that is one of the worst mentalities to have. And that drives me away. When I get customers who say, I supported you, but I only supported you so I could say that I supported you.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's very important to show that brotherly love that we've been taught in church, and
Exactly.
legitimately support people. Like, if their product is terrible, like, there are different ways that you can just be like, offer suggestions, be like, hey, I think it'd be better if you tried this, or if you did this. So yeah, I think it's really important to show that love for people, and also like making sure, like, we're not saying that you can never give something out for free. It is very common for business owners to be like, here,
For
sample
sure.
this, try this, because, they're just giving you a taste of what you can expect if you buy products from them in the future, or if you take part in their services. So, maybe somebody might give you a free month of services if they're a service-based business, or they may just give you a taste of their particular product.
Exactly.
So yeah, but also,
and I don't I don't want people to, sorry to interrupt. I don't want people to think I'm saying it's not okay to give away anything for free. That's not what I want you to take away from what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
I have to be careful of how I word things. What I'm saying is, don't always look for something to be free.
Right.
Because if you were to walk into TSW's always looking for a nice pair of shoes to be free, then it's not happening.
No.
You know, if you're always walking into Walmart looking for your favorite iced tea to be free, wake up call is still $3.97 at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
they love their 97.
They love the 97. I tell you, it's so weird. I go into Walmart and everything is $3.97, $19.97, $15.97, $23.97. It's just something about that number 97.
Yeah,
but
like 77 too.
Right, 1977 or 1397. It's right. Those two numbers.
Yeah.
Or like 366. You know, it's those.
That must be in a different location.
It must be the Philadelphia. It's the Springfield location that I go to.
That's hilarious.
Those are the numbers I see all the time. But I say that to say, like, don't always look for something free. It's okay to give out free things, but that shouldn't be your initial intent when coming in contact with an entrepreneur, especially when they're first starting their business. We want to be able to support everybody, okay? Because we all want to be able to eat at the table, you know. We don't want some people eating at the table, some people struggling to get to the table, and some people so far behind the table they don't even see where it's set up. You know, if we want all of us as a group of entrepreneurs to flourish, give advice if you want to. Don't feel like you can't give advice because you're not a part of that business.
Just be respectful.
Exactly. Just be respectful in when you're doing it. Conduct yourself decently and in order as we're taught. And give feedback. There's been plenty of times when Monique has given me feedback on my business. She's like, I don't think you should post that. I think you should rephrase something like that. Or maybe you should add more to the post. Or maybe you should do a story or a reel. God knows I cannot stand a reel. But reels work. I'm telling y'all. They work. So it's a lot of people, you know, sometimes I give the suggestion, maybe you should do this for your business. Or maybe you should do this for your business. But it's a way to go about it. So basically what I'm saying is we're all a group of entrepreneurs here. It's all in our best interest to support one another, to love one another like we're taught to do, and not just love people because we're taught to love them, but love them and support them because it's either the generosity, one of
maybe
those, you know what I'm trying to say. Right, to be genuine from the heart. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. I don't want people to misinterpret me and say, he said I can't give anything free. No, you can. It's just a certain way to conduct yourself with going about it and knowing that you have boundaries and making sure your consumers know, hey, Monique is my friend. Been my friend for almost 16 years. But if she knows that I don't work on Saturdays, don't ask me about my business on Saturday. And if you do ask me about my business, know that I'm not going to get back to you till Monday. You know, and that's basically that.
Yeah, and you know, also when it comes to pricing, while we're on it, not to get too deep or too crazy into it, but a way for you to make sure that your pricing like aligns with what your product or your service is. You can just start by doing a simple Google search and seeing like what are starter entrepreneurs in your industry. What prices are they starting at? You know, where's the pricing going to go in 2 years, in 3 years, in 4 years? And then, you know, you don't have to go directly for that. That's there for you to have like a ballpark. But once you actually start working with clients and you're like, oh, this is how much effort I have to put in to get this done for them. This is what they want. Like, because, you know, sometimes a few entrepreneurs, they'd be like, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. So your pricing needs to reflect that. You're not going to charge 200 and like the entrepreneur is asking for like 10 different types of services from you. Like, you have to make sure that your pricing aligns with that. And also, like once you start getting like testimonials, reviews, like actually working with some people, because in my industry, I don't know about everybody else's industry, but it's very common, like we said, to offer a sample, or if it's a service, maybe work. I think it's called pro bono, but I just say free, for a couple of weeks to a month, and see if they're actually getting results. The biggest thing you want to think about in terms of your price is like, what is the transformation, providing? So like if somebody has a food business and they're making healthy food and stuff like that, and they're shipping it out to your house, is that taking, the time that you have to like cook in the kitchen, it's cutting it down so you can actually spend more time with your family. For a lot of people, that's very priceless. And so your pricing needs to reflect that. Like obviously you're not going to charge like 50K for that, but like you
Right,
definitely want to
right.
make sure you have a high price, a higher or premium end type of service if that's what you're delivering. And I hope we would, since we're in this group,
Yes,
because
yes,
we have to eat, we have to do things that we want to do, pay taxes, stuff that a
exactly,
lot of people don't want to talk about. Maybe Sister Merlene can
exactly.
talk about that, but
Yes, Sister Merlene, please.
yes, but just making sure that you're charging enough, because like,
Yes,
I would hate for us in years, like, have to, not saying want to, have to work at a job and try to run a business. Your business income someday is supposed to replace your job income. So, those are just the different things you want to think ahead. Obviously, to get into the specifics, you can do research and link up with people.
yes. And I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of times when it comes to pricing things, people are so quick to say that's so expensive. Well, you have to think there's time that goes into that. There's people using their own money to buy the product. There's the putting the product together. There's the labeling. There's the paying somebody else to craft it. And so that's just something you have to really consider. Is pricing is all done for a reason, and they're not overpricing. If they are, then that's just wrong. But I can't see somebody overpricing for something of a high quality. So it's just a matter of, are you willing to invest that money into that product? And like you said, the job you have now is supposed to not be your forever job. Your personal business is supposed to replace that. And so I'm working so that my photography business can flourish, so that I have all this money in my background, so that I can work on my photography business, so that I can gain money from that, so I can complete nursing school. So it all builds up, into this chain. It's just a matter of how you spend that time to get you where you want to be.
Yep. Wonderful. Okay, so any closing thoughts that you want to share, like any final advice for someone getting started? And then after you answer that, you can talk about like how people can find you and do
Okay.
business with you.
Okay. So, any advice? I do have some advice for the people watching, and that's start your business. Don't ask for validation from other people. If your business follows in guideline of what we're being taught and it doesn't violate anything, start your business. A lot of times people are hesitant to start their business because they don't think they'll get supporters. Start the business. And that's just what you have to do. You have to take a leap out on faith, and just trust God and know that He's going to, give your business the fruition and the growth that it needs. A lot of people are scared to start their business because they don't think they'll get customers. A lot of people are scared because they don't think people will support them. They don't think people will pay their prices. If people operated that way, stores like K&G, Ross, Target, Walmart, those stores would not be in operation. But you know what happened? Some man or some woman just went ahead and started it. And years later, they're sitting on gold mines. So for all of my people out there who have not started their business but want to, but are afraid that they won't get support, start the business. Because us as a group of entrepreneurs are here to support each and every one of you. And I, for one, am not afraid to spend my money to support somebody. I support a whole lot of people. From Perfect Blends to Peculiar Eats to Sister Vontasia Brown's, soaps and body bar business, to another sister in the church's body bar business, Vein Beauty Cosmetics, all that stuff. I am just a big supporter. And if I can't support the business in buying the product, I support the business in another way. So there's always ways to support. So, I can lend a little advice, point you in the right direction to who you need to go to. So if you're afraid to start, but you have an idea and you're not sure if the idea is good enough, start it, because all ideas were never good enough to begin with. You just had to work the extra mile. And for those of you who are juggling a business and a job at the same time, spend a little less time in your actual job and a lot more time on your business. Because a lot of times, and I know this sounds crazy, but there's a method to my madness. And that's something that I've lived by for years. I heard one of my middle school science teachers say there's a method to her madness. And there truly was a method to her madness. And I live by that. There is a method to all of my madness. So go out and do it. So if you have two jobs, a personal job, meaning your personal business you own, and a job out there in the world, spend a lot less time out there and a lot more time in here, because your job's already
when you're
flourished.
like off, like, if you have any like off time, you can just definitely work on your business. Because some people may not be able to work less in their job. But
I'm not gonna say lessen your days out there. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying a lot of times our mind focuses on things that happen on our job, which hinders us from doing things at home.
Mm-hmm.
Forget all that.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I had to do was let go of that. When I leave my office, I'm not doing work anymore. I'm home, doing my business, doing school, doing things I need to do in my house. So don't let things of your 9 to 5 or whatever time job you have that's out there in the world hinder you from your personal business. If you just spend a little more time on your personal business and a little less time worrying about what can't be fixed in your other job because the day is already over, you'll flourish a lot more. And just to everybody in general, keep doing you. Keep doing what you're doing. And if you're unsure about something, do it even more. Triple what you were doing. Okay? Because sometimes our best results come from when we have absolutely no guidance. But that's all of my advice to the people out there. You can reach me. I have a page on Facebook. It's Ryan Blackwell at Blackwell Photography. You can reach me on Instagram, blackwellphotography_17. You can send me an email, blackwellphotography17@gmail.com, or you can visit my website, which is all lowercase, ryanblackwell65.com/Wix site. And I'll send all this information to Mo so she can post it in the TEEC group page. But you can reach me through there, or you can reach me at my personal email address, which I also send Mo. I'm not going to give you my phone number because that already blows off the hook with my other 9 to 5 job. So we're going to leave that one out. But you can reach me. I'm actually in shoot mode now. I'm about to release all of my information from my spring and summer photo shoots. So if you've got an idea and you want it captured, send it my way. But that's all about me. Thank you so much, Mo, for having me. I hope you all flourish in your business. Like I said, if you ever need support, don't be hesitant to reach out to me. I'm in the TEEC group. I just have to get my profile up and out there. I've been slacking on that. Like I said, because I've let my 9 to 5 job consume me. But I've been on vacation recently, and I'm on vacation for another week. So definitely reach out if you have any questions. I look forward to hearing from you all. I love you all. Much love to you all. Pray your businesses prosper, they magnify, they grow with fruition, and all of the above.
Thank you so much for being here. So, you also help with, branding photos, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that, people that are, new to entrepreneurship, you don't have to immediately think about branding, but, branding photos in particular, but, he's definitely a good resource to go to for that, so.
Yes. So I do a lot of branding, brand names, brand photos, designing of the photos with your brand names, all that stuff. Okay. And if you ask me and I don't know how to do it, then I can certainly spend time helping you find how to do it or point you in the right direction. Okay. So it's never a dead end with me unless it's just something completely out of my skill set range. Ask me about taxes, I'm gonna tell you I don't know nothing. You're lost. I don't know a single thing. And that's the thing, is you have to be honest. As an entrepreneur and as a business owner, you have to be honest with yourself, because a lot of people will tell people they know how to do something just to gain the clientele, and they don't really know how to do anything.
Yeah.
and they really don't, you know. And I think that is just so wrong to me, you know, to sit here and tell somebody and lead them on that you know how to do something, and then when it comes to them actually asking you, okay, can you perform what you told me you can do, then you say, no, you really couldn't do anything. So now you've wasted their time.
Right.
So, you know, that's one thing I try to refrain from doing.
Exactly. All right. Well, thanks again for being here. And
thank you for having me.
You can check him out in the group. And also, I want to share too, you know, if you have a business idea or even something particular in your business that you're not really sure about, don't be afraid to ask the group, because that's what we're here for, to offer feedback and stuff. I know it can be, you know, a little nerve-wracking in group settings to like share your thoughts and stuff, but you know, we're in the church and you know, we're trying to do the right thing, so we're here to really help you on your journey. So thanks for being here. Bye.
Thank you for having me. Ciao, people of Earth.